Hello, hi again, everybody. I know, another video in such a short time, it's crazy. And there was me just putting up the video about motivation and stuff. Ridiculous. I want to talk today about, I've had a few messages and a few people in general from who I know, and I just wanted to settle a couple of things. Have them asking me, do I feel like I made the right choice in jumping from a 125 to a 600? You know, as like the fact, do I feel like I've gone too high too fast, or should I have gone to a 300 first, or a 400 or a 500 or etc. in order to build more experience up before I jumped straight to a 600 and just got that restricted? Well, no, not to be honest, not at all. One of the main benefits of the reason why I wanted to jump to a 600 was purely for the bigger tyres, for the better balance and stability. Because obviously, for anyone that hasn't been riding for very long, I don't know if it's like whether it's true or not, but to me it seems fairly true. But it's about the back wheel. The bigger the wheel for me, the more stable and safe that I feel, because I feel like I can lean more into it because there's more tyre to get on. Even when it's wet. Even when it's wet, it's a lot easier for me. And yeah, when it's wet, I feel like I'm more stable as well, because like I say, when it's wet, it's a lot more slippy, but the more tyre you have, the more stable you are. And that was one of the main things, is that on the R3, the tyre isn't much bigger than the R125. Not for anyone that doesn't know, them tyres are awfully slippy. And they're awfully slippy, and they're not very well balanced in the rain, and you can't really move around a lot without them at least getting a little slide on them. So that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to jump straight to a 600 was because of the tyre preferences. And the other one was straight away for the speed. So that way I already instantly have speed, and I know I can get myself out of any danger if I ever need it. The sound. Plus the fact that if you upgrade straight to a 600, you've got it restricted, so you're buying two bikes at once, if you think about it like properly, because put the indicator on. If you buy the 600 now, it's restricted to 47 horsepower or something like that. It's half of what it normally is, so you only have half the throttle, so you basically have half the speed of the bike in a technical term. Why am I slowing down? In a technical term, but at the same time, when you come off the A2 and go to an A, where are you going? Where are you going? Use your bloody indicator. Jesus Christ, man. And when you actually go back to the A license and you get the restrictor off, it's like having another bike anyway, because of, you know, you can well, basically you got more throttle back. As at this point, this is not saying I've done this, this is just saying what the bike is registered at the moment, as it's half throttle. At the moment you can get around 105 miles an hour with the half throttle on. When the half the throttle is, please look right, thank you. When the half throttle is taken off, you're aiming between 135 and 140 miles an hour. So you gain an extra 40 miles an hour again. And like I say, when you take the half the throttle off and you can get around 140 miles an hour, then there's 40 miles an hour extra, and you're not having to do anything. You're not having to buy a new bike, you're not having to buy, you know, anything to kind of upgrade it. You know, you don't need a new exhaust, you don't need a can and air filter, you don't need the power commander, you don't need to swap the engines or anything like that. You literally just have to take a plate of metal off and you're sorted. You have pretty much a brand spanking new bike, you're used to it, you know how it rides, you've already broke it in, and you know, it's pretty much a new bike, but the same one. Basically, it's the same bike with a different engine, but it's not. It's exactly the same. You have the same, well, you have more power because you've got everything back. You can redline if you really wish, and you know, that was the main reason why I just thought, sack it, I'll upgrade straight, because the R3 is £5,000 and this brand spanking new is 6,500. But as the bike is now discontinued, I got it for 58. so I only had to pay like an extra £900, and I've got the 600, which I'm probably going to keep for like 5 years, and then I won't have to upgrade again unless I really need to, which in which case would be 1,000 by then. But it's more about saving money and looking for the future as opposed to everything else, because that way at least if you get the bigger bike now, you have such and such time to get used to it, know how it feels, know how it rides, and all you got to do is you're basically adding more speed onto it. So that was the reason why I chose the 600, and that's the reason why I would always stick to upgrading to the bigger first, to the maximum limit of what you can actually get first, and then not have to worry about anything else. So yeah, that was the reason why, and I wanted to put it out there so people that are going on an A2 can kind of get the preference of why. I mean, don't get me wrong, the R3 obviously restricted, because obviously the R3 doesn't have a restrictor and it's faired, it's going to be more aerodynamic, which means it's probably going to get a better top speed than what a restricted naked bike would, because, you know, the wind would just bounce off it, as opposed to this, it has no screen, no fairing, so it can't bounce off the bike, it will just slap the bike, so it's obviously going to probably be a bit faster. But once you take the restrictor off, obviously it's gone, and the R3 is stuck stock still then. So, but like I said, that's all I really wanted to point out. I just wanted to help anybody that's going on to their 8.2, like on my other videos, so you can kind of get the general view of how it is and why it seems more sensible to upgrade to the bigger bike straight away. But if you have any other, you know, if you have anything like, if you have any argument against it, basically leave a comment below. You know, it's always nice to see what everybody else thinks. And if you have anything else you want me to answer, now I actually have the license and I can go a little bit into it, then, you know, don't be afraid to ask a question. You know, I'm always looking for video ideas, so it's always nice to have a topic to pull on, basically. And yeah, that's for that, guys. I'll speak to you all later on. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, subscribe for more content, and I'll see you all later on.